It's the first annual Holistic Wellness Community Healing Fair. My name is Stephanie Bucklin. I'm the creator of the event. Well, we created the Community Healing Fair to basically do outreach for the community about healing. Something that I feel is unfortunately not as accessible as it should be here in Ventura County. And so the idea of my business as well as the fair is to do education, to give the community an opportunity to learn from the different practitioners that are here. So we have different vendors, healing vendors that are out here to talk to the people. There's music in the background. It's just to build the ambiance here. And we have workshops and seminars going on all weekend to educate the public. Everything is free. It is totally on donation, and a lot of really good things happening. There's healers, massage therapists, and different vendors that are selling beneficial products, and just all kinds of really great opportunities out here. Well, I am working with a Place of Peace Sanctuary and Wellness Center. I just moved in my business, the Holistic Wellness Community Center, into a Place of Peace. And so we started the Holistic Chamber of Commerce for the benefit of the holistic practitioners here in Ventura County. It's something that I really wanted to build up, this network of healers was just not in existence here. And so that was a really powerful way to hook into an international holistic chamber that could help me support and create this beautiful organization. Well, the membership program is basically, it's an optimal wellness program. And so with their membership, they get a year of membership. They get 12 individual, or rather group sessions, so optimal wellness classes. They get 6 individual sessions with a life coach just like me. Could be me, could be another coach. And you also get unlimited yoga with that, so you can come to all of the yoga classes if you want to. And then 50% off of everything else that we do. So that's a year of membership. Absolutely. There's actually an estimation that in the next 20 years there will be holistic wellness centers that replace the medical facilities in every city. And so going with that goal, I hope to kind of create that and spin it off into the possibility of other cities adopting these concepts. The first annual, we're going to do it again next year. I'm hoping to make it much larger next year. We're talking about doing a TEDx talk next year. So I'm already excited about planning that one. But yeah, if they want to come out today or tomorrow, we've got things going until about 4 o'clock today. And then tomorrow, the Place of Peace founder is going to be doing her usual sermon that she does at 11 a.m. And she's incorporating a sound healer into that. And then at 1 o'clock, after her presentation, we're having that full-on sound healing from a local sound healer. Yeah. I'm excited to be able to bring that kind of accessibility to the community. Yeah. Well, I guess if you want more information about what we're up to, or want to stay connected for next year's fair, you can log on to the website. It's holisticwellnesscommunitycenter.org, and sign up for the newsletter. And you'll be able to get updates on our calendar, the different events that we're hosting every week.
Hi, my name is Terry Kerble, and I am the founder and director, counselor, and minister at a Place of Peace Sanctuary and Wellness Center in Ventura at 2021 Sperry Avenue in Suite 22. And we have been together for about 7 years. We are a nonprofit 501c3. I began this journey as an interfaith minister looking for like-mindedness and looking for oneness of consciousness and raising consciousness, attempting to pull together people that are interested in wellness and holistic living and love and peace. And so as a minister, I began when I was a child, and I realized that there are so many different philosophies out there, but underneath them all, there is that one thread that ties them all together, which is love and peace. And so that's where I began my journey, and went to school and prepared and went to the seminary and became a counselor and a minister, and started to work with people and walk with people through their journeys toward peace. And it's been a beautiful experience. We welcome into our center healing practitioners from all around Ventura, Camarillo. Some come from Santa Barbara or Ojai. And we just offer a modality of therapies, massage therapy and acupuncture. My husband and I work with relationships. I work with the individuals and groups. We have drum circles and we have Sunday circles, and I teach meditation generally as a means to healing and peace. I follow Gandhi's premise that if you want to heal the planet, you need to start by healing yourself. So we look within. Our motto is a place of peace is within you. So we're all about healing and peace, and moving from within, so that when I'm talking with others, I come from inside of myself. Instead of trying to match others, I match my source, which is for me God, the divine source, and the oneness. We offer non-traditional ceremonies here. We welcome people in our Sunday circle from all the different traditions. Typically people have left their traditions in search of more of a like-mindedness, and so we come together on Sundays to talk about that. And we invited the Holistic Wellness Center into our place just this month. They're brand new to us, and it was their idea to bring this fair together, where we have drawn many practitioners and healers from all around this area to discuss with people what they have to offer. And it's been very enlightening for me. We've had some beautiful panel discussions. Stephanie Bucklin has done a great job of connecting with people and bringing people together, and her people and my people are merging and blending and offering what we can to help heal our planet, because that's really what it's about. So thank you. Our number is 805-794-9878, and we'd love to talk with anybody anytime. Everyone is welcome. There's generally a love donation, no cost. So come by and see us and feel the peace and feel the love. And you can talk with anyone in our center, and I think you'll leave blessed with a more peaceful presence. We actually opened downtown Ventura in the Victorian Rose Church on Main and Colorama. And it was a beautiful beginning for us, and it was my beginning as a minister. Although I've kind of dropped the reverend, because I feel we're all reverend, we're all sacred, we're all one, and we just offer what we do, and source is our premise. So, but my husband and I came together to form community. We're about community. Again, from my childhood, people are very separate and lonely and isolated and lost. So we tried to rid ourselves of dogma and creed and invite folks from all walks of life to our center to find their heart. And when I met Doug, we've not been married but 13 years, but when I met him, he was coming from a VISTA background, VISTA volunteers. And I was coming more from the Peace Corps background and from my ministry and looking for community to build. And he retired from UCSB, and we opened up this foundation when his mother passed away through her inheritance. And so we opened up the center and started to work hard at drawing people together. And then we outgrew the church. Not that I don't love the church, but we're not a churchy kind of people. We're much more of a nature people. And as you can see in these surroundings, we found a beautiful place to call home. We love it here. It's a very peaceful place. So we have drum circles and things here, and we can go outdoors and have a peaceful atmosphere surrounding us. And We meditate sometimes on my Sunday circles. We'll meditate, we'll walk around the grounds as a walking meditation, or we'll sit on the river and think about the things we want to rid our hearts of and throw stones into the water. We do different things like that. You're welcome anytime. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Mary Ellen Cullen. I'm an MSW social worker working on my license. It's taken me a long time to achieve my license and I can do traditional counseling, and I often do, and I work part-time with a company doing social work. No, in Michigan. Yes. Oh, we're siblings. Yeah. Right. And school in Michigan. Yeah. Okay, and well, in the 90s, I wanted to just travel the world, and I found a job as a flight attendant, so I moved out here in the mid-90s, worked for a couple years. Yeah, and then I moved back home and lived several places around the country, and now I'm back because California has everything. Just the sunshine, the mountains, the ocean, and I really love it here. Okay. Start over. Okay. Hi, my name is Mary Ellen Cullen. I'm an MSW therapist. I work traditionally with people counseling, but I've always had, deep down, since I was a child, felt that I was here to bring a new message and work with people in a new way, and I knew that was to start with myself. What it's about, what I've learned is just doing my own personal journey through having many problems growing up, a difficult family situation. At least that's how I interpreted it, was to be very difficult, and finding out, I started to sort through all that with personal growth. I started to read hundreds of books, started going to many different personal growth workshops just to try to figure myself out, and why I would end up in difficult relationships, and why life was just such a struggle for me, and why I had so many internal fears, and also on the other side, why I always had this side of myself that always felt that I was an observer here, like I was from some other planet, just kind of visiting and learning. And I actually felt that way from a child. I would think sometimes if I went through a difficult situation that I didn't want to figure out how to solve it until I could teach others how to work through it. And as the years went on, I started learning about energy, and I think a lot of people are starting to get familiar with the idea that everything is energy. I believe Einstein even said that. So I've started looking at the world that our thoughts, emotions, everything physical is energy, everything we feel is energy, and who we are is consciousness, and consciousness uses energy. Yeah, just like what they're figuring out with the observer of if a particle, subatomic particle, acts as a particle or a wave, it completely depends on if there's an observer present. Yeah, so that's what I believe we all are. We are consciousness, we are the observer, and all energy is there to serve us. And I don't think it's as simple as, I think it's a good start to go with law of attraction, but it's not about the mind so much as our resonance, our soul resonance, and our deeply held belief systems. Because you could think cancer all day long and you may not get it, or some people can think abundance all day long and they never get it, but you may have these deep beliefs that maybe you're not a good person if you get abundant, or we carry energies ancestrally. We could have issues that our ancestors carried that bring us cancer, and we may not consciously understand why this has come to us. But it just takes a knowledge of understanding that who you are as a soul, you are a sovereign, pure consciousness. And the more that you can tune into that, the more that you can actually become conscious that when things are happening in your life, or something seems as though it's taking over your body, just the reminder of who you really are as a creator, as God also, that you don't have to be a victim to these things. And I know that's easier said than done. It really takes a process of many years and growing into this, and actually it's going to be easier because There's a lot of people that are called light workers, or there's hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people on this path of bringing a higher level of consciousness to the planet. And you're seeing it shift everything. We're having a lot of problems politically and with weather, especially in this generation. Rapid growth. We've never seen this much growth in history. It just continues to speed up. And it's because when you add a little bit of high consciousness beings to this mix, it questions all the power belief systems, all the dysfunctions that most of us have been living in mass consciousness for so long. And it starts to just shake that up. And so we're seeing a lot of that. And it really is, I feel that what I want to bring as a teacher, and more a teacher just by living as example, changing myself, learning how to self-heal, not even necessarily with any kind of herbs or anything, just knowing that the body knows how to heal itself. Every minute it's detoxing, it's shedding, it works constantly for us, and it just needs our help to believe in it more, to believe in what we have here and stop doubting it. And I haven't taken medications or anything for years, and I feel that I heal pretty quickly just because if I do, I feel I'm sending my body a message that I doubt it, and when it knows that I trust it, I feel that it heals pretty quickly. So that's it too. It's just getting people to get in touch with their true consciousness and finding God within as themselves, instead of what we've had now for centuries is this idea of a humanized father figure that is outside of us. And I'd like to bring people back to that. We don't need some parental figures. Instead of being children of this God, it's time to be our own adults and be as God, be our God self. And live that and claim it as creators and begin to learn to truly enjoy life is my goal. And ending the healing game, like you can only do so much healing until you get to the point where you just say, it's time to live and enjoy. Yeah. Yes. And at some point, give up the reliance on other people. It's beautiful when you get assistance, and maybe sometimes you do need it, but there does come a time eventually where it's time to stop going to someone else for healing and just start knowing, trusting your body. And it takes tremendous courage to get at that level of trusting yourself, because we all like to be attached and hold on to one another. And the idea of being so independent can sound lonely, but that's really where we're all going, to the point where relationships aren't even necessary. They're just for enjoyment. They're not something in the old way that a man needed a woman to complete their other side. It's about we're whole. It's like God's walking around on the earth completely whole, just having fun, without this need all the time or these problems all the time. But I think the way that the world is now, it's going to be a while until it's an easier place to live, because we still have a lot of people that are still having fun living in a more limited consciousness, and maybe they need that for their soul growth. But I think eventually we're going to start moving to where it's just more and more people are going to be just living more sovereign within themselves and free and playing no more power games and letting go of those and just enjoying life. That's it, because what we're melding is when you think of in your dreamtime state or these other realms, you can create instantly and have anything you want. You're at a waterfall. Anyone that's done lucid dreaming can see that. And what we're doing is starting to meld those dimensions now with the earth dimension so that we're not so dense, which is, it should be a place where we can have what we want much more easily, and maybe someday even instantaneously. Because that's the way we're truly supposed to be. We're not supposed to be living in this illusion that we're limited. If you think of the other dimensions, you would laugh in your dream time to think that you're actually limited with money, limited with having to stay at a job this many hours. It's crazy. So if you do believe that we're going to start melding with these other dimensions, bringing heaven and earth together, it will be much easier to manifest. Yeah. Okay, I call it newenergycounseling.com. It's just a new way to work with energy now that we're becoming more conscious. We can know that energy serves us. instead of us being a victim to energy. So new energy counseling, and my number is, the number to reach me at is 805-426-5414. Great. And I do individual sessions usually, and I can work over Skype. We can work on video over Skype, or you can come to Ventura and we can meet personally. Thanks. Thank you so much. At Place of Peace. Yes. Thank you, Place of Peace. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Hope Ryder. I'm originally from New York City, and I moved here to Ojai, California about 3 years ago. Was completely immersed in alchemy and healing and people that were of a really, really conscious lifestyle. And it really inspired me in my life to not only be healthier with my, body and my soul and my mind, but more importantly, like how important it is to share that with others and just always continuously share the knowledge of how we could all be happier and healthier. And the biggest thing that I found was just really working with the earth, the elements, plants, and nutrition, and just kind of simplifying everything out and going back to the basics. And my life has transformed, and from that I want to share it. And one of my biggest passions is sharing through media, through networking, promotion. It's, if I meet anyone that has like a healing product or a service or a message, I just try to think of all the different ways that I could help them get out into the world. So that's kind of where my heart is, and I'm here today at the Ventura Holistic Fair doing that, going around and taking pictures and also interviewing people so I could help share their message with the world. And one of the biggest projects to date that I've jumped on for is a website called healersource.com, and it's another dear friend of mine that has the same intention. He went on his path of healing and just felt the need to share what he learned, and he created this website that basically connects healers to people and people to healers, kind of like the new Yelp of healing. And basically it's all free and it's all there, and he keeps adding really cool things to it, like global healing, sending, and just different features where you can be engaged with the community of the world that is there to heal. And then if you are a healer, the service that they provide is unbelievable. It's all free. You sign up, you have your own profile, and there's all these amazing tools to schedule online payments. So it's just like this one-stop shop for healers and their service, and for people finding healing. So I'm here today on behalf of Healer Source and just kind of sharing their message. And then on top of that, what I do personally is I am a creative marketer for healers or anyone that has something good to share in the world. So that's kind of what we're here to do, just try to educate and share knowledge to the people that have the beautiful healing modalities to get them out into the world, because we're tired of the big pharma companies, and we're tired of hospitals and the way they're run. We're tired of just the system of health. It's not working. It works in some regards. I'm not going to be one of those people that are like, no to health, hospitals. I just had a friend that wanted a natural birth, but it didn't really work, so we went to the hospital. It turned out great. But as a whole, there's new information and new systems for health and healing, and so I'm here to share whatever I can to help you get that out into the world. So that's kind of where I'm at. Hope Ryder Creations on Facebook, you can find me, and healersource.com. It's HOPERYDER, Hope Ryder. You can just Facebook me, you'll see my red hair. Contact me, and let's see how we can share the messages of the world to get healthy and happy together.
Well, Hope, thank you for being a super collaborator.
Good day. My name is Ellesbeth Tamara, and I came from Kansas. I grew up there in a farming community in a very small town. My passions were riding my bike and reading. I explored the world through books, and I started traveling. I've traveled and lived all over the United States. I have loved the journey. I have been looking for love and bliss and connection with the earth everywhere I've gone.
That is excellent. So what is it now that brings you here to the wonderful fair, which is a wellness fair, the place of peace?
I read about different meetups in this area of California, and I found the Place of Peace, and I have loved coming here. This is a beautiful space. I've met wonderful people. They have opened their arms and embraced me on a spiritual, physical level. It's been wonderful. I am on the journey. I am very happy to be here. Okay, since I moved to Ventura County, I have found a technique called Higher Brain Living. I did my 22 sessions. It is amazing. So I continued on. I have training. I'm now a facilitator for Higher Brain Living. It's a one-of-a-kind technique that and personal growth system that allows us to release our fear-based lower brain. And so to continue on just a little bit, it allows us to experience great joy and bliss. It develops the frontal cortex, the higher brain. With the heart connection, it relieves depression, fear, stress, energizes joy, bliss. I feel so abundant. My life is completely changed. I could not be happier. It's a daily blissful situation for me.
That is excellent. There was a movie that just came out relatively a few months ago.
Yes. We all went to see that movie.
Yes, for me, it was educational and it was confirming in so many ways, but it was educational information. I'm like, oh, so that's what it looks like. You know, and even though it's a film, we know that all the concepts, the logic, and the consistency of when you start at point A, you're headed in a direction, and it's got to go somewhere. And that potentially is what they're representing. That's the word of the line. This is an excellent concept.
Yes, I haven't experienced what she went through, thank goodness, as far as all the adversaries that she had and the trials. But I think that we are headed into a dimension where we use the higher brain to access all source that is out there. It connects to the oneness. It's excellent.
I love that maturity of the Homo sapiens kind of thing. We're learning ourselves.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, one of my passions is natural stones, and so I started making jewelry with natural stones and found objects I'm recycling into my jewelry, my artwork. And it's very therapeutic for me, and I think my results are quite lovely. I can't take credit for developing the stones, but...
Now, are you wearing the stones now?
Yes, this is Peruvian opal. And the different stones, I just love stones. I get the energy, we resonate, and I just kind of buzz all day with them in our little journey together. Thank you. Thank you for letting me share. This is an unprecedented time for everyone on this planet. We are all change agents. We're making this change. We are developing and growing at an amazing pace, and it's phenomenal. And I'm so blessed to be here at this time. Thank you very much. Okay.
My name is Charlie Weedle. I am originally from Wisconsin, as well as my business partner Kelly Schwegel. We are both from Wisconsin, and we moved out to California about 2 years ago and moved to Ojai, and we started the Heal Center, which is a nonprofit Holistic Healing and Learning Center.
So the journey now from Wisconsin, that was when you guys finished high school, and was it something you always wanted to do, and had you always worked in that field, or were you always interested in that dimension of human development? Because you guys are human developmentalists.
Right.
Healers.
Yeah. Actually, my business partner Kelly, she was a former educator, so she was a principal, dean of students. Really, she's done everything in the education world. Yeah, exactly. And her main reason for starting the Heal Center was to start a brand new type of school that would be beneficial for anyone and everyone of any learning style.
Okay. Which is what the 21st century hopefully is about.
Yes, exactly.
It makes our future bright.
Yeah.
So we're expanding. Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
So Kelly's education.
Yes. So that's right. So her background and her desire to create a new school really brought us to Ojai, and I actually specialize in graphic design, website design, anything computer-wise. And so her and I created this wonderful team together, and we built this Heal Center, which is, right now it's really mainly focusing on the holistic healing, but we're also starting to integrate the schooling aspect of the Heal Center.
Yeah. The idea of information being power is a simple fact, and it's not new information. But our resources have always been the same for information until recently it just began to modify. And we've got newer and better sources of information. And the capacity to connect with it becomes the issue. So first of all, before we go into how else can we connect with you guys? Tell us where you're at, and you actually are a non-profit organization.
Yes.
Which is world class. So tell us, how do we connect with you guys?
Well, we have many different ways to connect. Obviously, we have our physical healing center in Ojai, where you can get individual healing sessions, you can come for classes or events. We put on retreats, and we also bring the healing to you wherever you are. We also have a website where you can come and you can view our online webinars. We have meditations there available. We have PowerPoint presentations available for people to refer back to once they come to some of our events. And there's many resources we have available on the website. The website is healcenters.com. That's with an S. So we offer many different types of healing at the Heal Center. Healing from massage to Reiki, energy healing. We do shamanic energy healing, sound healing, crystal healing. We also do hypnotherapy, myofascial release. It goes on and on and on. We have 22 different healers that work with us, and they all have a huge variety of modalities that they offer.
Right, and this is, and again, it's it sounds like, and it's a healing center. What's the name of it?
It's called the Heal Center. So HEAL actually stands for Human Evolution and Learning. Okay. So it's the Human Evolution and Learning Center.
And so in Ojai, if you go down 33, and the movie theater is right there in Oak Park, which?
Yeah, so actually we are right in the middle of downtown Ojai. If you were to drive right up to where the bell tower is, you would take a left, and up one street behind the Wells Fargo building, you'll see the Heal Center.
World class, you guys are right there. I've been walking past it all the time. How long have you guys been there?
We've actually just been there since June.
Excellent, world class. So I don't feel bad that I walked past a place of joy and empowerment so many times. I think that my sensibilities would have found something. But now I know what it is. So when I go to the market, when I go to the farmer's market, you guys we're right there by you guys. Yeah. Okay, so anything else, Charlie, that comes to mind? But yeah, we've covered everything. And you're here at the Wellness Fair today, at Place of Peace, which is apparently a really good idea. I realized it was just great. All this wealth of intelligence and knowledge is here.
Exactly.
You know, what it is that we need in order to create the future of our America.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's sort of like, ethereal and healing, but it is critical for us to be able to create the future. Here's a phrase about Sharon that I thought of. Do you want to be a part of the ruling class? Vote. Because that is the ruling class. And
right.
People who have the opportunity to be the ruling class all this time, and everyone's saying, 4 out of 10 people say, I'll vote, and the other 6 say, oh, well, why should I vote? That's what, if they have to take a look at history, it'll be clear. Oh, that's why I should vote. That's what the ruling class, this is how we determine. So we can include elements like this in our governmental structure.
Right.
Because we actually have the consciousness and capacity to do that.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
we have a bright future.
Right, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
And
it's been a pleasure.
Yes, and we will talk with you, I'm sure, next time.
Yes, wonderful.
So can you tell us more about that?
Well, I've always been, a devotee of bliss and peace, and so I had always hoped that I could do something with my life that promotes bliss and peace, and I found it through what I'm doing for my livelihood, but I'm a huge fan of anything that brings bliss to the heart. So the flower oils are wonderful because they actually produce serotonin and dopamine and endorphins and enkephalin and all these wonderful de-stressing neurotransmitters in the brain that are agents of bliss. And so my spiritual path is very much about this, and the flower oils have a very ancient tradition, a spiritual tradition, goddess-based tradition, so that I feel very fortunate for doing that. And then I also I handcraft all the cosmetics, and then I also handcraft some genuine gemstone and precious metal jewelry, and I feel very fortunate that the 2 items that I've chosen to make a livelihood with, which are gemstones and true flower oils, are some of the materials in the world that have the lowest level of entropy. So it is so magical, and I feel very privileged to be doing what I'm doing. And so I'm just a couple of birthdays away from being 60, and I feel like these products have helped keep my skin strong and my hair strong, and I love sharing them with people. But more than a business, it really is a way of life and a path, a sacred path for me, which is very goddess-based. So. Yeah, I mean, I think we're living in really exciting times now, because I feel that, the human race is really ready for some kind of a upgrade in our consciousness, some kind of a lift, some kind of a growth. And I think people are beginning to see that, love is really in the end what matters. And it isn't about power, and it's not about acquiring this or that or the other. It's really about sharing and caring, and there's no amount of money can ever buy you peace or peace of mind or happiness. That has to really be cultivated and by our own evolution. And I think that people are recognizing that we're here really to help each other on that journey. And so I'm very excited about the future. I actually am one of those people that actually feel that good things are going to happen, even if we have to go through a period of some pain, but I think that we're going to come out of it wiser. And I think that I have a lot of hope for the future, and I really do believe that things can transform way faster than we think, and easier. All we really need is the will, which comes from the love. So in the end, it all, again, just boils down to loving, which makes us more caring,
Yes, and empowering. So hi.
Hi.
And see your name?
Donna Hendricks.
Aloha, Donna.
Aloha.
Happy Sunday. So let's see. So what do we have here? You're one of the artisans here on the beach.
Yes.
And can you tell me more about it?
Well, I'm a photographer. I take mostly local pictures, Ventura County, Ventura, Oxnard, Wainimi, some pictures inland, because it's such a beautiful area. I don't see much reason to go further away. I actually grew up in the Valley, went to North Hollywood High, and but I had a cousin in Camarillo, so that's how I discovered Ventura County. And I went in the Navy, moved around a lot at that time, but when I settled back down again, came to Ventura County, and I live in Oxnard now.
And the whole Camarillo move, that was like a blessing. Mine was kind of
Okay. Oh.
it's like A to Z.
Right, right.
What made you get into art now?
Well, I've always loved photography, but when I was younger, when I was a kid, I couldn't afford it because back then you had to buy the film, and it came like in a 12 exposure, 24 exposure. That was expensive, and then I grew up in apartments, couldn't have a dark room or anything, so then had to buy the film. Then you had to buy, you had to pay to get it processed, and took a week or two, and cost a lot of money. You had to pay for it whether it came out or not, and now I can't imagine taking 24 pictures only when I go, to take some shots, of some event or something I want to capture. I take like 100 shots maybe each time. So when digital came out, it was just a big blessing for me that finally I could really do what I really love to do.
It costs take less time to make the kind of shots that you want.
Exactly.
You still need an extra eye. Find that big shot like you want to give us some more of it, right? And our focus on targets. So let's look at more here. What more do you have for us?
I have probably 95% of my photographs were taken here in Ventura County because it's a beautiful area. It's got a little bit of everything. Got the beach, you have the mountains, the hills, the city, the country. It's just a wonderful place to be and to capture with my camera.
So on any Saturday or Sunday, you can come down here at the beach.
Yes. All right. I got a little bit of everything. I have here the pelicans off of Anacapa. They breed in Anacapa during the springtime. They like it there because there's no predators. It's just a short trip off the coast of Ventura here, and it's a wonderful day trip. Probably at least, they're big. They're a lot bigger than you think. At least this tall. They're very big.
Bella's insulin every month is over $100.
Yeah. They're very big, and then they have the herrings are very tall too, but not as bulky. And then I have this picture here, one of my favorites. I took it last year in 2013, and I came here the day after Thanksgiving. Instead of going shopping for Black Friday, I came here and I caught a wonderful sunset. This is exactly how the sun set. I don't filter anything or Photoshop it. It was just a beautiful day to be here at the beach, as usual. This shot right here was taken from the Botanical Gardens, which is just right up past the City Hall up California Street. Exactly. Yeah, I think they just opened the Botanical Gardens this year, so it's growing all the time and adding new flowers, and it's just a wonderful walk. It's very easy. It's an incline, but it's not steep at all. You can actually, I've seen people push wheelchairs up there. It's that easy. So everybody can enjoy it. Here, I call this Surfer Dude. I don't know his name, but last winter there was a big storm that came from Hawaii, so I came down here to the pier, and this guy just caught my eye. He was flipping around and doing these turns, catching lots of air.
This guy,
he was awesome, and he was doing this over and over, and he was landing and riding the wave the rest of the way in. Never saw him fall.
Yeah, what I learned was that most of the surfers don't go out when there's a storm like that.
He did. He was good. Yeah. Ventura Harbor. It's a beautiful harbor. It's well maintained. It's just, you go in the mornings before there's a lot of boats out, and you get the water's really calm and clear like a mirror. And it kind of looked like a mirror to me, so I took this shot. Some dolphins. There's many pods of dolphins out when you go out between here and the island. And they're just out there and they love boats. You go out there in a boat and they'll come up to the boat and they like to ride the wake. Usually you just see them randomly kind of jumping out of the water. Of course they have to jump out to breathe, but this particular shot, I was really impressed how they were all jumping out of the water at the same time. And they're completely wild dolphins, and I just thought it was really cool.
And the water's choppy.
Yeah, and they just love it. Here, of course, is the Anacapa Lighthouse. It's an actual working lighthouse on the end of Anacapa Island. And it's actually manned by park rangers, I believe. They're the only ones who stay on the island anymore. Very, very pretty, I think. Here's just a simple shot of a sandpiper, just enjoying his day, looking for some dinner possibly before the sun sets. Yeah, I took this picture on Memorial Weekend. Early in the day, you can tell there aren't a lot of people on the pier, and that's why the flags are up on the pier for Memorial Day. I think they had the flags up between Memorial Day and 4th of July. So they were blowing. It's a beautiful day, as usual, and I just thought it would make a nice picture. I was happy with the way it came out.
Yeah, they're thinking of misfire guns.
It's just so neat. Go forward. It's like we're walking down the pier. It's just so dimensional. That's what I was trying to have.
This is my shot of Wainimi Pier, and anybody who's been there anytime in the last few months knows it doesn't really look like this right now. There's a lot of erosion issues, but they're correcting that and dredging Channel Islands Harbor and putting sand back on the beach. Right. So right now, the staircase has most of these rungs are missing right now because the water is up past the stairs, but it's just a beautiful pier. This is a wonderful sunset. And before too long, it'll look like this again.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. So the water level keeps changing.
Yeah, there's a lot of erosion, so the water is like way up, up pretty far, but they're fixing the pier.
Is that seasonal or is it annually changed?
It doesn't usually do that. They just had a lot of erosion problems, and I think the city of Wainimi had a issue with funding to have the dredging to put the sand back on the beach.
Yeah, we have our
right. You already had that in Ventura.
Yeah.
So they're doing that now. So it'll take a little while to catch up, but they'll get it back. And it's just a beautiful beach down there and a wonderful pier that a lot of people don't even know exists. It's just at the end of Ventura Road. And I love Ventura County. It's got so much to offer. The farmland, the beaches. Just, I've never seen where I've lived a lot of places, been a lot of places. I've never seen farmland that goes down to the ocean, that actually touches the ocean. When we have a lot of rain, there's strawberries in the harbor, that kind of thing. It's just so unique and beautiful here.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you for your time.
My business is called Beach Nuts, and here we are by the beach. I love to come selling here, and I make all my own jewelry. I use a lot of things that come from the beach, like pearls and abalone shells and things like that.
Let's find out more about you first.
Oh, okay.
Tell us more about you, which is interesting. How did you first get into art, and where did you grow up?
I've always been interested in art since I was a little girl. I grew up in Beverly Hills, and I was surrounded by nature and beauty, and I was always drawn to the beach, and I just started making tie-dye and jewelry about 30 years ago. I went to UCSB and got a degree in art history, but I've always had an interest in creating art myself. I even worked at the Art Museum in Santa Barbara, and I just love doing all kinds of crafts, but my main thing that I do down here is tie-dye and jewelry.
Yeah, we're looking at the...
There's all kinds of wonderful mother of pearl. I have dichroic glass, all kinds of shells, abalone, natural gems over here. There's jade and labradorite. I love working with gems and shells.
Put these together.
Anybody got a knife?
So looking at the rocks, what they look like on the camera. There you go.
Oh, I like that. Octopus.
Yes, yeah. Very cool. And the piece in the middle is a paddle? Is that a paddle? What is that?
Everybody wants to buy this. This is a mirror from Bali, and I use it for people to look how gorgeous they look with my jewelry, but everybody wants to buy the mirror. So I think I might have to make a trip to Bali and buy 500 mirrors.
Yes, excellent.
So they always want to buy my prop. That's just part of the fun.
Yeah, and those are straight back on the left back corner.
This is a mother of pearl on beads.
Oh, that's neat.
And this is citron with dichroic glass and has matching earrings.
Actually, take behind the shell. The shell is front this, because that's a beautiful piece. You pull that away, and that's what it is.
Oh, you couldn't see that. Okay, there we go. And it really picks up in light. It's dichroic glass. Two colors fused together. I did not make the piece. A friend made that, but I did string that. And I love color. That's what tie-dye is all about. I don't think I own anything that's white.
Well, excellent. So let's look at some of the tie-dye.
Okay. Should I pick something up and show it off or something? Okay. I do all kinds of colors. I've been tie-dyeing for 30 years. And this is a new color that just came out. It's called chocolate truffle. And it looks a little bit like a chocolate truffle. Oh. I'm going for cocktails. Okay. So, and it's fun how the dye will not take on any synthetic fabric. So if there's like some kind of nylon, this must be nylon thread, and so the dye will not take it. People is like, oh, did you embroider that after you tie-dyed? I'm like, I like to say that, but just I let the dye do its own thing. And we have other things like that over here. This is a beautiful color, emerald, and with some beautiful rhinestone pieces, and obviously the dye did not cover those. So it's just fun how you can play with it. I never get tired of tie-dyeing 30 years later, because there's always a new print and a new color and a new pattern. Again,
how much time, Sharon, does it take to do like one of those?
it takes quite a bit of time, so what you want to do is just not dye one thing at a time. I make sure that I have at least 20 to 30 pieces at a time. And it's not that it's so hard, it's just time consuming. You have to obviously tie the fabric and then dye it, and using certain processes in that dyeing process, and then you have to untie it and wash it and dry it. So everything that I do, I've washed in hot water twice and put in the dryer, so I know that when it goes to my customer, it's not going to bleed or shrink or anything. And that's why I have people that come back and pick, item after item. They have repeat customers. And I always change the patterns. I use rubber bands. It's a very simple process. And just the way I tie it will come out differently.
That's why it's a tie-dye. Yeah, that makes sense.
Here's a fun color that's new also. This is dragon fruit. There's exotic fruit from Pacific area. And then this beautiful top had sequins on it, and the dye, again, will not cover over the sequins.
Brilliant.
But it's
Good
actually,
discovery,
yeah, it's like alchemy. It just sort of happens.
Yes, yeah. That's excellent. And then you've got some of the tiny ones here too.
Oh, we can't forget the little babies. They all have to have. Here's Daddy's caddy.
Yeah.
This is emerald green. There's a little pink one. I love Mommy. And so the onesies are really actually quite popular, and we do them from little newborns up to 3 years old. Look how precious this little sweater is here. So they're very, very popular. And then another popular item are these beautiful scarves. And they have silk and velvet in them, so they take the dye differently. Obviously there's 2 colors here, but I will use 1 color of dye. So thinner the fabric, the less dye absorbs.
Those are decorative scarves. They're not going to be.
Yeah, they're just decorative.
Yeah.
But I do all kinds, and I do hats and bathing suits, underwear, socks, pillowcases, towels. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, and you would think if you wore a scarf that it would be hot, but that's a fashion scarf.
Yeah, that's just more like I have one on my hat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have bigger ones that sell for people to keep warm in. So it's just never-ending amount of things I can dye. It's just, I tell people I will die for you.
Yeah, you would tie and dye.
Yes.
And I did not know that that's what the tie was. You literally tie something around and then you dye it.
Uh-huh. And then I did a play on words when I first started. I called my company THAI, like Thailand, Thai, Dye, DAI.
Yeah.
But yeah, people, you can use ribbons, you can use yarn. There's many ways you can tie dye. But I've just found that rubber bands work pretty well, and they're easy to acquire, and they don't cost very much money.
Yeah.
Hello.
Most excellent, Sharon. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And let's see. Now,
Are we on camera or off?
no, we're still on. Where'd you go to school? Did you tell us that?
I went to University High School,
And in college.
and then I went to UC Santa Barbara. I lived in Hawaii, which was another influence on me and falling in love with the ocean and the beach and colors and tropical things. That was a big influence. But then I graduated from college at UC Santa Barbara.
Excellent. Which we actually adored. We would go, my brother, when he did his undergraduate studies
Oh, really?
at UCSB.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yes.
When they're not falling off the cliffs, and the kids do the darndest stupid things these days.
Yeah.
They keep falling off the cliffs.
Yeah. The kids will be, I think that was a TV show. Kids will be kids. Yeah.
Let me know if you want a price on anything, young lady.
Alrighty.
You got a cute dog there.
Thanks.
Hi, Alice was checking out that dog. Huh? Good Alice.
Oh, yeah. So, most excellent. Wonderful meeting. And
Well, you too.
And
We were neighbors.
yes, it was so fun. That's San Monica Boulevard. That's how I got around. Until I got my
We used to
car.
hitchhike too. I can't believe we did that stuff. And then,
Super Sunday.
well, you too. This is our last Sunday. We won't be here only on Saturdays now
Oh,
through April. So we can be found here every Saturday.
yeah. The way of winter. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.